What up my awesome viewers, it is Real Gian here, and I have another controller. This one is a very premium looking, somewhat premium feeling. Does it compare to the MyGT? It's got a nice clamp. Let's find out. Lots of Xbox One controller clones in the market, and this one is almost identical, which is fine because it's a good layout. Most people are comfortable with this layout. I really dig the dark gray paint job. It makes the controller look more expensive than it actually is. I wish the top part wouldn't be piano black, but that's fine. I like the start and select buttons that are outside of the clamp because if you don't want to use the controller with the clamp, it would be easier for you. The D-pad looks exactly like the D-pad from the Xbox One, and I'll get to how it feels later on. The face button have the exact same color scheme here, and I thought they can't copy the color scheme, but it turns out that they can, which is pretty cool. If only there's some kind of logo on the top, then people would have a pretty hard time distinguishing this between the Xbox One controller. Even the design of the analog stick is the same. Overall, I would say that this controller looks great because it looks more expensive than it actually is. The bottom part of this controller is made from the soft plastic similar to the Ipega 9025. So it feels really nice to the touch, and the buttons feel tactile and responsive. Only the home, start, and select button feels mushy, but you won't be pressing those buttons as much, at least I don't think you would. The D-pad is tactile similar to the Xbox One. It's not rough to the touch unlike other controllers. The L1 and the R1 is soft and clicky from my experience. They actually feel better than the Xbox One controller. The L2 and the R2 buttons are soft and have the right amount of bounce back. They are loud depending on how you press them. The analog stick feels looser than the Xbox One, so this is their weak point. Anyways, this is what the controller sounds like. Latency is where things go south for this controller. The L2 and R2 don't really respond to soft touches, and the analog sticks doesn't respond to soft movements. The thing that might sound crazy is that I really think it's just me. When I put the controller on the tester app, it responds well, but when I play something like Crossfire, I'm having a lot of trouble trying to aim and fire correctly. So in Crossfire, the most important thing is aim and recoil control, both of which I feel like I can't do well because the controller just does not respond to soft touches. When I play platformers, I'm also having a really tough time trying to time out my jumps because the moves are either all the way or none of the way. When I feel like I'm using the MyGT, the analog sticks were much more precise, the L2 and the R2 were much more sensitive, and they can register soft touches. Honestly, this could just be this particular controller for all I know, so if you're experiencing something like this, comment down below, let me know. The clamp does an average job at keeping the phone in place. If you're standing still and playing, then it's fine. I would not recommend walking, but it does fail the clamp test. For the most part, I wouldn't walk and play at the same time anyways because you'll be bumping into people if you do, but it's up to you. There are two rubber pieces on each end, which is nice if you happen to be one of those people that don't use a case with their phones. There are two angles that you can use to clamp as a stand, so if you want to watch movies or YouTube videos like mine, this is a feature that I didn't pay much attention to until I needed to use it. This controller packs a whopping 500 milliamp battery, at least that's what the sticker says. On some website like GearBest says 380 milliamp, so your guess is as good as mine. In reality, the controller will withstand the typical 3 days of use before charging, on most days playing at least 1 hour, and there are the days when I'm off I can play up to 3 hours depending on how that day is going. I would say battery life on this controller is pretty freaking good, but my number of hours spent playing might be rookie numbers, so battery life might not be so hot. So here's the thing guys, this is a pretty nice controller, but it's just the way how latency works on this, it just drives me insane because it feels accurate but it's not. It makes me think that it works well, but it doesn't. So when comparing this to the MyGT, it feels like it takes a couple steps forward, but it also takes a couple steps back, and I really like the design of this. Like, this looks really good. It looks very much Xbox One like, and the buttons are outside. The clamp is good too, so I like that as well. But it's just the analog sticks and these two buttons here, I don't know. It does not give me a lot of confidence when using, especially when you have to push it all the way in. You can't soft push it, and it's the same thing with the analog stick. You can't soft move it. You have to move it all the way through, and that's kind of a turn off. But it could just be this particular controller. It could really be just me and this controller, kind of like GameSir. Yeah, it's kind of like that whole situation again. It can very much be like that, but I really hope not. I really hope that if you buy it, it won't happen to you. And if you want to buy this controller and support me at the same time with no extra cost to you, I'm going to apply a link down below. And of course, if you made it this far into the video and you haven't subscribed yet, click on the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to ring that bell to become part of the mighty notification squad. And as always, you guys stay awesome now.